Okay, I'm gonna call meeting order for the Wexford-Missaukee ISD regular meeting. And first thing we need to do is roll call, please.
Ken Bowman.
Here.
Anna Boones.
Here.
Chad Brunick.
Here.
Mike Chandler.
Here.
Willie Holmes.
Excuse.
Harold Kibbe.
Excuse.
Tim Nags.
Here. Okay, thanks. Next, let's do pledge of allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thanks. Now's the time, if we have any visitors or anybody out on the conference there that want to speak, now's the time for public comment. Do we have anybody out there for public comment?
Nobody?
Nobody. Nobody. Okay. Oh, wow. There we go. Okay.
None. Okay, thank you.
All right. Hearing no public comment, we'll move. The public comment is now closed. Next up is the consent. Approval of this consent agenda. Consider approval of consent agenda. I can say it. Some ask. I can't talk about that.
Some ask.
Some ask.
Okay, you have in your packet the minutes from the regular August 17th meeting, as well as the minutes from the special meeting last Monday, and the Board of Education bills for the last month for your consideration and approval.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Ken Bowman.
Yes.
Anna Boones.
Yes.
Chad Brunick.
Yep.
Mike Chandler.
Yeah.
Tim Nags.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. Next, considering the approval to hire Tricia Peer for the accounting assistant position pending results of drug screening and criminal history information.
So you should have her resume in your packet, and she just finished her bachelor's degree from Ferris. She was very excited to work with us. She worked at Buckley Schools in the past as a parapro, and more normal times.
Right. Yeah.
So moved.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Who was the second? Chad, you got a moment?
No discussion. Roll call, please.
Bowman.
Yes.
Anna Boones.
Yes.
Chad Brunick.
Yes.
Mike Chandler.
Yeah.
Tim Nags.
Yes.
Okay. Pass the word on. Welcome to Wexford-Missaukee ISD. Next up is consider approval of the addendum to the 2020-21 Special Education Student Handbook.
That would be me.
Brenda.
Yeah, we updated the special ed parent-student handbook this year. There weren't a whole lot of changes, other than changing a few dates, if there are any typos or something that needs to be updated. And then also an updated calendar that we added into it. Some of the classroom locations have changed. So for example, both Carrie Cox and Tasha Bowers were at Forest View. And Carrie Cox is now in Franklin, and Tasha is here at the Special Services Building. And then also Don Roosevelt's classroom, she was here at the CPC building last year, and she's also moved over to the Special Services Building as well. So it's really nice for those ladies to have some support with each other for there. Also, Susan Purcell is now supervising our promotion. And Andrea Thompson was supervising that previously, and updated that in our handbooks. We also added some grade and classroom level information. So what kinds of things do we look at when we're moving a student from one multi-level classroom up to another? And that includes things such as the age level. There's an age span that we're allowed to put out. On page 32, we added some language regarding visitor policy, and that really has to go around some of the COVID information that's come out. So at the very end of the student handbook, we did add a COVID piece in that If things change, it can easily be taken off of the handbook, so it's not embedded so much all throughout it, trying to find out where all those bits and pieces are. So those are the changes to the handbook.
Okay. Support? Okay, any discussion? Okay, let's take a roll call, please.
Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Chad Brunick,
Yes.
Mike Chandler,
Yes.
Tim Nags,
Yes.
Anna Booms. Anna Booms. She's gone.
She's muted.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, consider approval and the following individuals to be members of the Wexford-Missaukee ISD Special Education Parent Advisory Committee for the 2020-21 school year. Ashley Hanson, Heather Barkman, and Ashley Berry. Presenting.
Yep. So annually, I have to seek board approval, for those parents who are nominated to be on the parent advisory committee. And those parents have to be a parent, of a student with special needs in each one of the local school districts. We have a representative. So far I've heard back from, Cadillac, East and Marion with the names of parents, and we will have more probably coming. But I would put these two right now. They're also instrumental, a parent advisory committee and looking at our special ed plan, and which we are in the middle of revising, and I'll have more information on that later. So I brought those names forward.
Okay. Thanks. No motion.
Motion.
Support. Support. Any discussion?
Yes, I've just got a quick question. How do you go and solicit names from the local school? How do these names come to you?
Yeah, great question. So I will ask the superintendents of each local school district to send of a local representative. And usually they talk with some of their special ed teachers or their principals, and then they will send me the name of the person who they've nominated.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ready for roll call?
Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Anna Booms,
Yes.
Chad Brunick,
Yes.
Mike Chandler,
Yes.
Tim Nags.
Yes.
Next, consider approval of a resolution for the superintendent to have emergency powers, special powers.
Oh, we're doing both. If you recall, I think it was April or May this came to you. This was a recommendation of Troon Law as well as the Neola attorneys. Grateful that it's just a period of time where if something comes up quickly, that I could make a decision on behalf of the board, and we won't have that. I would never do that. No, getting any other advice from you, but you did that one expired. They wanted another one. It was just a highly recommended by. So I would call you or get emergency meetings though, if something were to come up.
So
Support.
Okay, any other discussion?
Is there a time limit?
Is there a time limit? Yeah, is there a time limit on this?
There is.
What is
I
it?
don't.
Okay, so whatever,
I'm looking at it.
whatever's published for, huh?
And I'm trying to remember if it was, because the first one ran out when the governor's amendment, there was kind of timing it with that. So if we're still in an emergency order, then that would, once that ended, then that's how it's supposed to be. But I'll keep it forever,
So we do have.
I don't want to.
Let's try and put some date down it.
Yeah.
I'm sure if it's through the lawyers tied to the emergency power.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, we'll follow whatever it says.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Anna Booms,
Yes.
Chad Brunick,
Yes.
Mike Chandler, Tim Nags.
yes.
Okay. Next up, consider approval of the final read of the fall updates.
So this was final read for Title IX. This is that policy that was quite lengthy and long, and it was very challenging. So the final read will mean that'll be what'll be on our website. We did get the training for the staff that had to be part of the actual process, and our other staff received the training through safe schools. Yeah. So all staff received the training that was required by law, and the specific folks, we have have two coordinators, Tim and Brenda. We have a male and a female coordinator. We have Lisa's our investigator, which would take the most time, so we're hopeful that never happens. And her decision goes to Katrina. She makes a decision. If they don't like it, then they come to me as a, that keeps you folks on. We did not mark off hearings and anything like that, because that just creates a lot more work and time.
That all done through you.
Yes, yeah.
Motion. Motion to approve. Second. Okay, roll call, please.
Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Anna Booms,
Yes.
Ted Burnick,
Yes.
Mike Chandler, Tim Nix.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, first reading of Title IX regulations.
I think I must have printed out the wrong one for you, Ken,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
because there was an update.
That's okay. Yeah, it's fall.
Sorry.
Well, these are.
Yeah, these are just first reading. These are your normal fall updates. They came a little early. I didn't get to
Oh.
that on time, but
That's, okay, so that's why I wasn't like,
yeah, my fault. Yeah.
the two were flip-flopped.
Yep. So it's just the first reading. If anything you want to change in a month, let me know. We'll fix it. Pretty straightforward. Let me back up. The one about expulsion. So I put some, based on some feedback from the WMISD board last Tuesday, I changed ours to match that. What happens is a local district, usually those of you that serve as a local, you do the expulsion. If a student is in Brenda's program, it's still not our student. We're just serving that student. So I wanted to word it such that the recommendation would come from me. Let's say it was a weapon, right? Certain things are black and white. But my recommendation would still come from me to the local board to say, here's what my recommendation is. Because you as an ISD board really don't have students, so you wouldn't do the expelling. I worded that in there so you can see that. That's the only thing that I really changed on that. And 10-day suspensions, all that's just law. That comes with suspending. But yeah, you have a month to see that if you want to dive into it.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Next up, administrative reports.
I left audits for you. If you want to take them home and look at them, that's fine. If you want me to hold on to them for you until next month when Frank is here, that's fine too. They will be also uploaded into Board Book next month. And then, do you have any questions for me?
Any questions? No. Yes, no. Thank you. Next up is for technical education.
Yeah, as my report says, we are full house, which is a pleasant surprise. We really expected to see a lower number of students because of just the situation, but we're as full as ever, and so far so good. Things are running better than expected for the first 3 weeks, and we're into week 4. So glad to have kids back in the building. Kids are glad to be here, and sparks are flying, and grease is getting on people's shirts, so it's all good.
Do you want to just give a little update what you're thinking for the little kid that's involved, and I want to make sure they all get invited. Your idea for the advisory awards and dinner and all.
Oh, yeah, I guess first of all is that we have moved our open houses usually in the fall. We moved that to the spring. We'll just wait and see how things go and then decide whether to actually have an open house this year. So it'll be in the spring if we do. For the advisory committee, we're planning on having it November 5th, but being different this year is have all of the advisors meet in the individual classrooms. That way they can go into the individual classroom and they can do their social distancing and so we don't have a large crowd in the Lake Superior room. And then have everybody remote into the Lake Superior room where we'll do our Hall of Fame awards and our Ellen Bosch Fellowship awards. I can give a quick update on the state of CTC, and then Chef has agreed to prepare the meal. It'll be a hot, gourmet meal, but it'll be individual. So he'll go to individual classes and hand them each individual meals to eat within their classroom. So I think we can pull it off and still follow the rules and meet the guidelines and be able to have that face-to-face advisory committee. I think that's important. So
So the only thing different is as the first part of the meeting, which is be everybody together.
Exactly.
Because usually how we did it before was we have the general meeting and then we get dismissed to the hall for dinner. And as we fill our plates, we go to the classrooms and eat there.
So this may be a new normal, if we can get the food out to the individual programs, so there's no waiting in line for food.
I think the activity will go quicker, to be honest.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You're all, you will be invited to that, whether you're an advisor or not, because of the Hall of Fame and the Fellowship Award, so.
Absolutely.
So how are you going to do that? You said you're gonna do it remotely, through what channel?
Yeah,
Here within the school, or what if I'm not here, could I get on through?
At this point, it'd be everybody here in the school. I suppose we could have an invite to all, if you wanted.
Do a link like that.
Yeah.
I know I won't be here.
Hadn't thought about that, so it's
I'll
not
be
bad.
in Florida, but I wouldn't mind getting online and following it if I could.
Great idea.
For that
section,
first
yeah.
part. And I can encourage my individual instructors to allow for a remote option as well, that they can,
For their advisory members.
Yeah.
after the.
That's cool.
Now
Great
you're
idea.
out
there, I mean.
Now we're really thinking.
Now you got me.
Family that aren't quick to come could see it.
I just, grandparents and stuff like that,
Yeah.
to watch
I like
the
it.
awards.
Yeah, so,
You wouldn't have to get everybody.
Right. Would have to, anytime we can do it, right?
Yeah. Or
Cool.
live stream, not like just board meetings, or like, just a couple hours.
Cool.
yes, I think it'll work.
Sounds good. Any questions? Good. Okay, thanks, Tim. Next up, Josh, he's not here, which is fine, and Lisa's up.
Yeah, and just a couple of things to highlight. The General Ed Leadership Network did a big project this summer with learning maps, and so there's basically some professional learning that consultants across the state put together, and Dave Johnson submitted teaching social studies during the pandemic, so it's nice to have Wexford contribute to that work of professional learning that went out across the state. The continuity of learning task force did a lot of documents, and I put in the basic ones that are the return to learn plan links in my report, but they ended up producing 17 documents, so lots of work from that group, and I was really active in that, but not the only one. It was across the state, and probably the most collaboration I've seen and on the general ed side as far as sharing professional learning and expertise, even people counting, and that's kind of my last thing is the people of counting has been really complex and ever moving. Barbara has done a really nice job going out and meeting with all the districts and providing state leadership. MEISA, which is our state association, has heard her be one of two representatives for the people county side and a couple of meetings they had with MTE, and she helped produce the state documents talking about the two-way communication that went out through the professional association. So lots of great work happening in the general ed that's been used across the region and state.
Thanks. Any questions for Lisa? Thanks. Brenda?
Yeah, in my report, I mentioned about a little bit of an update about the ISD special ed plan and where we are with that. And after a lot of meetings and a lot of hard work, thanks to both David and Katrina for helping out with a lot of the revisions and working with our local districts. We are very close to being able to submit the plan to the MDE for their final approval. We have signatures from almost every superintendent now. We're just, we're beginning Mary Moore's High Point Virtual Academy tomorrow. And then we have one more that I'm following up on that signature as well. And then our parent advisory committee will also need to have some input into the plan and take a look at that as well. I need the chairperson of the parent advisory committee so we can sign that they were provided opportunity for input into the plan. And then we will also be sharing the plan with you then at that point so that you will see what the are. And then Dave gets to sign it on behalf of the board, and then I can submit it to the MDE for their approval. So we're coming along. It's been a few months, but I also, I think that the timeline hasn't been really too bad considering that we have a pandemic thing going on. And I know from other ISDs that this can take several years sometimes to get agreement and input into the plan. So I'm really pleased with the progress that's happening.
When did you start the plan?
Well, we started it back in January, scheduled some meetings, and I think in February.
Only 9 months.
Yeah,
The other schools have taken years.
some of them have taken several years, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I think so.
Excellent.
What questions do you have about my report about the ISD plan?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Dave?
I will start with echoing and reflecting the kudos for that special ed plan, because those two ladies did a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes, preparing documents, preparing data, answering the questions, which were quite never ending, out of our task force or our, what we call it,
Our ad hoc
committee of the superintendents. And to get to this point was, I think COVID helped a little, because it was challenging, and kudos. But part of that brings me to, after we get our audit report and we see where we're at, I want to schedule a finance committee and seriously talk about that fund balance that special ed should be set at, so that if it goes above, we can look at funneling money back to 2 schools, not back, I gotta put saying that, 2 schools. And then the set amount where we don't, and the set amount where we start looking at, do we go back to the voters for the override? And then there's another set amount, do we look at a bill back? They want to know that, part of the special ed plan, correct, what was the word? Adequate funds, or something we haven't identified yet, and we promised them, you folks will help us decide what that definition is, because that's part of the special ed and how we bill. We have services that we bill for. So there's a lot coming out of the special ed plan, and a lot of cheese moving, a lot of decisions that maybe haven't been made in the past, we need to make, and I just think it's the right thing to do to support our schools. So at some point, but I want Trent to give you the big picture where we're at, and his advice, because obviously that's what we take him to. I did, I'm going to back up a little bit too and go back to Katrina report. I received today in the mail some really cool kudos, if you will, or announcements. So how do you pronounce Charlotte? Is it Budovich? Butkovich. Charlotte Butkovich, which is one of our she has received certification for business office specialist. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you through Michigan School Business Officials. A lot of work goes into that, and a lot of continuing professional development to keep that certification. I'm going to jump down to Josh. Josh, also from the Michigan School Business Officials, earned the opportunity to be a Chief Technology Officer certification. So again, that's pretty kudos to our staff. They continue to be not just teachers. Sometimes we forget about the folks behind the scenes that are continuing their education, their professional development, and doing great things, because it only benefits us moving forward. So I want to thank them for that work they put into that. My last piece, 2 last pieces. One of them is, again, last Monday we approved our plan. I've approved 4, I think, of our local districts plans. I'm waiting for 3 more districts to submit that's their extended continuity learning plan. Once I get those, I'll get those submitted once I get them from them. But I also wanted to share with you, again, that's something you probably don't get things to do, but this is, I want to make sure you're aware, this is the evaluation thing. Again, as far as where I am held accountable to, and I just wanted to share you my thoughts. What you see in the yellow highlighted is what you did last year, actually the last 2 years. So this is my 3rd year as superintendent. If there's anything on there that you want to see differently, add, subtract, I don't care. You just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll make a concerted effort to meet that if I can. There's some of there that'll be hard. The number 1 domain with all the growth and targets. I mean, there's some things we can certainly do, but I guess I'm at the point where I don't want to dictate to you how you're evaluating me. It should be a together process. So that's yours to keep for now. I'll mention it in Friday notes, and at some point we'll just have to make a decision to how you want to consider my evaluation.
Which meeting you want to decide? Next meeting? Or?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so,
Yep.
If there's anything on here you guys think that we should evaluate maybe on that we're not doing, or things that we should take off?
Area you think I need to be improved on any of that?
Yeah. So we're just next meeting we'll ignore, we can leave it the same the way it is. Next meeting we'll decide on it.
Yep. And I'll share it with you in the update. Other than that, unless you have questions for me.
have any miscellaneous business. Does anybody on the board have anything?
I just would like to mention a couple things real quick. I appreciate the staff report or the director's reports each month. I take a lot of time to read through them. I went up to Tim before the meeting. I was especially pleased with his report. And he had a copy of an old Cadillac News in there of when the vocational mill was approved. But from your hires to what you're doing on a regular basis, for me, it's very interesting and important. It keeps me in, that's the only way I know what's going on, and that's good. So the time that you're putting into it, at least for me, is very appreciated. I really appreciate that. And I'll just say one other thing, and in addition to that is, I am so impressed with the new hires that our director's been doing this past year. A couple that I remember is Casey Van Ost, a speech therapist, and then is it Tricia this evening? I mean, we are just getting some fantastic new staff.
I agree.
Kudos to Dave
I do it.
and your leadership.
I just get the second interview, they do the first interview. Oh,
You know, and I go
absolutely.
through those resumes, I look at them, and I'm really impressed with our staff. We're setting ourselves up.
Well, you know, it does say a lot, but it starts with the board and the support, letting us do things that are sometimes not necessarily normal, but out of the box thinking and great and never settling, right? But you can't do that without a board saying, keep going. So, I mean, it starts at the top, so kudos to you, thank you.
That's it.
You guys hired everybody in this room.
Okay, anything else? Owner, do you have anything?
Nope, I agree with everything that you guys have said.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, now let's, motion to adjourn then. All right, roll call please.
Who had the,
Need motion, I support.
Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Owner Booms,
Yes.
Ted Burnett,
Yes.
Mike Chandler,
Yes.
Tim Nags.
Yes.
Okay, meeting's over. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
for coming in.
Trent. Good job. Thank you all.